Online, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, we are live now.
Great.
Alright. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the 26th episode of VspireLab. Actually, it's the second episode for this year. At VspireLab, we aspire to inspire your startup journey and also equip you with the necessary knowledge to succeed. Today with us, we have Adrian, co-founder of MoneyMatch.
Yep.
He prints money and he actually transfers money to people. So he's going to share about Fintech, how it's going to affect all of us, and also what's the future of Fintech going to be.
Okay.
All right? Are you okay with the topic?
Sure. I mean, thanks for having me.
I wouldn't ask you anything wrong.
Yes, please.
Anything
Let's keep it kosher.
All right. Okay. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Adrian to give a little introduction about himself.
Okay. Hi guys. My name is Adrian Yap.
Adrian Yap.
As mentioned earlier, I'm one of the co-founders of MoneyMatch. Our office is actually really nearby this place.
Where's your office?
We're actually based in Menara LGB. Taman Tun, TTDI. It's actually literally just a stone throw away. It's across the road. Yeah, and big shout out to VSpire for having me here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
coming by.
No problem, anytime, guys.
All right.
So yeah, I think let's proceed.
So where'd you grow up and where'd you go to school to?
Sure. Okay, so I was basically born in KL, Petaling Jaya, born and bred. So I grew up in the Taman C area.
Okay.
Which is basically sandwiched between Taman Mega and SS2. And for education, I went to Taman Mega Primary School.
All right.
And then after that, followed up with secondary education in Taman C.
Yes.
Yeah, and after that, basically proceeded to go to local colleges, and then I twinned overseas to
Where'd
the
you go
US.
to? What were you studying actually?
I went to Florida to study. So
Florida
basically,
State?
Sorry?
Florida State?
Yes, Florida. No, Florida. I went to a private uni in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, this is where it gets a bit ironic, right? Because I went to school in marketing, advertising, and management.
I see.
Right, but it was in university that I realized that
that's not the one for you.
Yeah, because they were always, the good thing about I think American education in schools is that they're very open with regards to knowledge.
Yeah, man, you get to choose your major only in your third year if you want to.
Correct. So there was this, they kept throwing out copies of the Wall Street Journal every day. So I started picking up the Wall Street Journal and reading it on a daily basis. That's when I realized that I really liked finance.
I see.
So after graduating, I moved upstate to New York to find a job in banking, and I got a job with Bank
in
of
Wall
America.
Street?
Yeah, with Bank of America. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that for a little bit, and then I came back to Malaysia.
Were you trading the floors or?
No, I wasn't, unfortunately.
No calls. No.
Yeah, no. I was doing more analytical work at the time. And then after that, I came back to Malaysia.
All right.
Then I had a very long stint in my career with Hong Leong Bank. All right, that was where the trading stuff happened, right? So I was working in the treasury department of Hong Leong Bank.
Okay. Or like investment, corporate?
You can say that it's a bit different because when we're working in the treasury department of the bank, we basically are in charge of different things.
Okay.
But it has to deal with the balance sheets of the bank as well. So I would say that we do lending products, we sell bonds, we buy bonds, foreign exchange, and stuff like that. So basically everything that goes through the bank, all your products will have to funnel through treasury. It's basically the place where everything is originated from. Yes,
exactly.
That's the point.
So there's like options, there's futures, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Correct. So basically everything that you see comes from the bank treasury, because the bank treasury is the unit that is that has the ability to trade and deal with other banks in the network. So it's able to offset its risk. So because of that function, therefore it can create risk. Yes.
Offset by offsetting risk, you create risk.
Correct.
So do you think the banking system is messed up or is it good?
This is another politically charged.
Okay, let's not go there.
Yeah, no, I think I can answer that. I think that it depends on where we are, on the context at which region we're talking about banking. I think banking in the US is quite bad with regards to the compensation and rewards, and the compensation structure as well in the States. So it primes and it actually cultivates a habit of greed. So it pays to take big risks, to make big money,
Right.
and not care about the consequences.
Like they force you to get a bigger house every time you get a raise or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah. So it precipitates the whole notion, the whole boom bust notion. But then again, I mean, that is capitalism at its essence. So without it, you won't have the big financial markets. And
The
stuff
Big
like that.
Shot,
So,
watch it.
Watch Big Shot. Yeah, watch the Big Shot.
Right.
I think it's much more. The culture in Malaysia is much more moderated,
Conservative.
moderated. So actually, I think banking in Malaysia is has a very good purpose as well.
So alright, so you got into banking after that. How'd you meet your co-founders and think about creating MoneyMatch?
Okay, so ironically, I met my co-founder Nathan Munusami, was in the market as well, as we call it. Was Nathan also was in the treasury market. We call it global markets. I mean, has a lot of experience in trading, foreign exchange, and dealing in treasury as well. So we just got together one day, and then we decided that I think that there's a very interesting opportunity that's occurring in the market right now. So ironically, believe it or not, when we started thinking about this idea about building what we call a bank agnostic corporate treasury unit.
Okay. Explain what's agnostic.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later. The word Fintech was not even coined as of yet.
Right.
So we were looking to our Western counterparts in the UK. There was this company called TransferWise that was starting to gather steam.
Okay.
And they were really small at the time, but you could see that there was a
TransferWise.
use case for it, TransferWise.
Alright.
And then we decided that I think there's an opportunity to build something like that back here in Malaysia, and to try to dominate this region as well.
Okay.
And like how it's been spreading in the UK.
Okay, that's Eugene Tay saying hello. Hi Eugene.
Oh, hello Eugene, hello.
Okay, you gotta continue.
His dear friend. Yeah.
Oh, your friend.
My friend, yeah. So okay. So then we decided to adopt it into the local context. And then we decided, okay, let's take our time to build it as well, because it's not just about building the tech, it's also about waiting for the regulation to be right.
Right.
So we took our time to build our platform, really think about the business model, strategize about how to get this done, which markets to hit, etc., etc., etc. So we've just basically been executing what we've been thinking about in the last couple of years, in the last year. So,
Wait, how did two bankers build a computer software?
Okay, that's where it gets a bit interesting. So, when Nathan and I started down this journey or this path, we knew nothing about technology. I mean, to us, like Python was still an animal, right?
I just knew the word Python, that's it lah.
Yeah, exactly. Python's a snake, man.
Exactly.
Nothing else, right? And Java is a place in Indonesia,
Me Java.
Yeah. So we roped in Fazil into the whole equation as well, and I think Fazil gave us the much needed boost that we needed, knowledge that we needed as well, fundamental knowledge about how things are done, how to build good UX, UI, how to build a brand. Ironically, Fazil came up with all the designs and names of the company as well, so it's a bit edgier, it's a bit of an edgy feel to it, and then we started our journey from there. So the three of us just started on embarking on this journey to learn and try to build this platform that we've currently built.
You guys brought in the ideas and everything, and he was the enabler or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair to say. Basically, he's the guy that's responsible for allowing our customers to touch and feel our ideas.
Making dreams into reality.
Correct. How our customers consume our product is basically through Fazil.
Fazil. Alright, so now we are talking about MoneyMatch already.
Sure.
So when did you all start, and when was the idea conceptualized, and how did you get till today?
Yeah, I think we spoke a little bit about that just now.
Yes, already.
A little bit about the idea conception just now, but I think there was nothing really super romantic or sexy about it. We just saw that.
So three guys, man, they can't do nothing much.
we just saw an opportunity in the market to build a bank agnostic as a treasury corporate treasury. So what I mean by this, as I promised, I'll illustrate a bit further, is that you see, it's the idea stems from a very key insight that we had as a long time as bankers. So the key insight is probably this, right? When you talk about SMEs or even retail customers, if I ask you this question, for example.
Okay, go ahead.
Who do you bank with?
Who do I bank with?
Yeah.
You mean the corporate or like?
No, let's say your personal bank.
Maybank.
Malayan
banking.
Malayan banking, right? And can I dare say, right, that the reason why you opened a Maybank account is because Maybank was the closest bank to your house.
True.
Right?
Exactly right.
So it stems from this insight. So automatically feel or think that Maybank will gives you the best service or best rates for all your financial products. That's not necessarily true all the time, right?
It was just close to me, that's it.
Yeah, and I think that for you, let's say, again, example, let's say RHB gives you a better rate. It's hard for you to open a bank account at RHB, man. You won't incline. You just just go to Maybank and take my rate.
Stick with it. I'll stick with what I have.
Precisely the point. And this happens for SMEs as well. So we understand that opening a bank is tough. So we created a bank agnostic platform. We basically, like, now if you want to send, again, example, let's say you want to send money to the US right now, and the Maybank is charging you very high rates, right? And because you don't have an account with Maybank, you can only trade with Maybank.
Right.
You can't go to a public bank with the better rate and say, I want to trade now. I'm sending ringgit to you.
Nope.
You need an account.
I can't do that.
Right? But you can with MoneyMatch.
Alright.
So basically what we do is we set up a platform whereby you just sign up real quick, perform an eKYC function with us. And then
KYC, know your customer.
Know your customer, correct. So we've been given approvals via the sandbox to do this electronically.
It's also got to do with PDPA and stuff, right?
Yes, correct. So
wait, you were talking about sandbox.
Yeah,
like,
let's finish this first.
Okay.
So when the ringgit comes from your ringgit account to us,
okay, from my account to
a ringgit to a ringgit account, we will send the money out for you at cheaper rates.
Choosing the best rates.
We actually have the best rates.
So do you use banks or you don't go through
we have a hybrid model.
Hybrid.
So we do use banks for some transactions, but some transactions we use our payout partners that we've established throughout the relationships basically that we've established throughout the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you do hedging? Do you buy money fast?
That remains to be. I choose not to answer that question. But we put it this way, Nathan and I, we packed close to about 20 years of experience in banking, primarily in foreign exchange.
How old are you?
But both of us were our first jobs, and we just stuck in the industry for a good time.
Dude, both of you don't look that.
I know.
20-year banking guys.
Because combined.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
still a lot, lah.
Still a lot. So we roughly know what we're doing, I think. Yeah, it's pretty vanilla stuff. Don't mind me saying, yeah.
I hear vanilla in games. How is vanilla in banking?
So in the banking industry, we have a term for products that are called vanilla. That's called financial industry, vanilla and exotics.
Alright.
So vanilla products are typically over-the-counter products.
OTC.
Let's say stuff like FX, bonds, yada yada yada. Right. The exotic products are ones that are basically usually referred to stuff that's harder to find. And risks that's more complicated, such as derivatives and stuff. And it's usually more derivatives as opposed to anything else. Yeah.
Dude, the first chapter of one of the finance book I took was derivatives.
Okay.
I didn't understand a thing. Man.
Alright, that's cool. I used to do derivatives in Hong Kong, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so
that's too complicated stuff.
Yeah, it's okay, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Just got to understand the fundamentals.
Right.
Yeah, and you get
everything comes from derivatives, I think.
Not true. Everything comes from vanilla.
Alright, vanilla.
Yeah, so
then
you
create
on
the
top of
better
that.
products.
Yeah, you build on top of that. You build risk on top of that.
More risk.
It's all about risk.
Okay, so who are your normal customers like? Who are you serving?
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, I mean, we serve a different, very, I wouldn't say niche, but a very specific target base. So we serve a lot of SME customers.
Alright.
And a lot of high net worth individuals.
Like Jolo,
no lah. Jolo, no. I will not answer that.
Okay.
So I give you a clear example. An average transaction size on the MoneyMatch platform for retail would range about 9 to 10,000 ringgit.
Okay.
So it's for the foreign, I think for the expatriate market that we serve the high-end expatriate market.
Alright.
People that are drawing like 30 to 50,000 ringgit a month, etc., and to send money back.
Okay.
And for the SME market, I think we range about 50 to 60,000 ringgit per transaction for SME.
What are they like buying? Products, raw materials for their processors.
Actually, that's the interesting part about our client base. I mean, retail is retail, obviously. I mean, we have a nice mix of people sending money to their children overseas to pay for education fees, for investment purposes, and a lot of people sending money back to India.
Actually,
or
Nathan shared about how our father was looking for the best rates to pay the tuition fee.
Correct, and that's a real use case. And for SME customers, we have a very diverse user base. It's hard to say what people use us for because as long as it's cross-border payments, right? So, just off the top of my head, I think we do a lot of we do flows for tour agents, travel companies,
agents, a
lot of travel startups use us as well. We have a guy that imports dragon boat equipment. Yeah,
Wow.
for dragon boat racing.
Okay.
It's not like we have guys that import futsal shoes. Yes.
So he sells it like e-commerce guys.
E-commerce
and all.
guys. We have guys that do pots and pans from China. What else do we have? We have people that import plastics.
Okay.
So it's a very wide
okay.
spectrum of clientele, and we don't segregate it or we don't even
Alright.
profile it by
Okay.
digital or non-digital.
What's your charges like?
Okay, so I guarantee you, we're definitely cheaper than whatever you would get if you walk into a bank. That's for sure. And as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, it's hard to give a gauge because rates can change periodically.
Yes.
And based on promotions, people can just slash the rates. But I think on average, we are the best in town.
So like probably if I walk into Maybank and do a wire transfer, it's
Yep.
it's like a percentage out of it.
Yep.
And on the other side, I need to have a bank account to withdraw it. So I need to have a IMEI number.
Yes,
or
you
wire
must send.
transfer
Yeah,
number.
we only send from bank to bank account.
So okay, you help send from bank to bank
Yep.
account. So the guy withdrawing needs to have the receiving bank account.
Yes, that's for sure.
Are you thinking of not removing the bank part of it?
Probably in the near future, but right now, I mean, I guess we have plans to do that in the near future. But as of now, I think we'll stay a bank-to-bank platform first.
Use what's existing lah.
Yes, I mean, it's also the most secure, and
Yes,
it's also
the
the
secure
less the less risky lah. I would say.
And because like they've like invested so much into their security, right?
Yes, agreed.
All right. So coming into the topic,
Yes.
catching the fintech wave.
All right. Let's talk about fintech.
What is fintech? Like you said back when you started, the
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
Okay.
Like all these technical jargons, the startup jargons, are they useful?
So I like to quote something that I think I will not quote that. But let's talk about this word fintech. So you're going to get a very unique perspective of the word fintech from Nathan and I, right? Because I said when we started off to try to build this whole digital first online remittance platform, fintech was not even a word that was coined. It just came along, right? And we were just like, okay, we are fintech as well, right? But to me personally, to be fintech, to be considered a fintech player, you must be transactional in nature.
Transactional.
Yes. Having said this, is that I won't qualify aggregators to be fintech.
Aggregators are like insurance aggregators,
Probably.
home loan aggregators.
Yeah. I wouldn't qualify like let's say people that let's say give you notifications on where the stock prices are. I won't say stuff like
tips.
that. I would say those are fintech. I don't think that's fair in my personal opinion.
Let's say I subscribe to a tips guy, he's not a fintech.
Yeah, I don't think it's fintech.
He just uses tech lah, WhatsApp and WeChat.
Let's put it this way. I think I'm going to get a lot of flack for this in the industry, but
that is your opinion, man. Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's my personal opinion, and I have a strong opinion, and I don't care as well. I think that to be fintech, you must be transactional, because the whole goal of fintech,
I put money, I take out money, stuff like that.
the whole goal of fintech was to use technology to replace the middleman or expensive human personnel to drive the cost of transactions down.
Financial institutions.
Yes, and to drive the cost and to include financial inclusion as well. So if you're not transactional,
what are you doing then?
you're still coming back to the banks.
Yes.
You're just telling
you're another medium to sell their products.
Yes, exactly. Versus us, whereby we compete directly with the banks. So obviously, I come from a buyer standpoint, but
Of course not.
that's what I qualify fintech to be. And as to whether I've been asked this question a lot of times, like, is this wave real? Is it going to last, or etc. And I always say that it's important to, let's say, if we split the whole word into two.
Okay, fin
and tech, right? And then let's look at technology in the financial sector. So then you relay the question again. Is technology in the financial sector going to last?
I think,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't...
Finance is going to last, technology, I don't know how long.
Yeah, it's always going to last, because you think about it this way, right? You don't give enough credit to the incumbents, which are the banks. They came up with the debit card, Visa, ATM, etc., etc., etc. And there's a lot of technology there.
Right.
And there's always been technology in the financial sector. It's just that now the word has been coined.
Okay, financial technology, fintech.
Correct. And if you look at, let's say, it's not even fair to say that financial systems have financial industries have lower, are not technologically capable of keeping up with the today's
Due
day.
to like the traditional nature, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you look at a company like Visa, for example, right? Do you know that Visa's transaction per second is right now, it's I think larger. They can basically, Visa can process a larger amount of transactions per second than any blockchain out there.
And they're not using blockchain.
Yeah, they're not using blockchain.
So yeah, like everyone is just swiping every part of the world, man.
Yeah, think about it. And Visa Wave, PayWave, for example.
You just take your card and then.
Yeah. So how does an e-wallet beat PayWave? Right, when you got to log in versus just.
I was telling some people earlier, like last year, that it took a long time for Malaysian to start using their card as a payment method.
Yeah.
Okay, probably 5 to 10 years. Like probably 10 years ago, like you go to a Chinese takeout in the States, you can already pay and put a tip on your card.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, you already did that. So in Malaysia, we're only now in McDonald's and certain places we're trying to put our plastic there and do it. So how you expect them to jump into bitcoins and stuff like that?
No, I completely agree with you. I think we'll probably touch into that a little bit later. But yeah, we can touch into that later about using cryptocurrencies as a mode of payment.
Alright. Yeah. So, okay, e-wallets.
Okay, e-wallets. Let's talk about e-wallets.
What's an e-wallet? Okay, so like there's Boost, there's Prime Keeper, there's Alipay.
I know. To be honest, of the lot, I know all of them.
Of course,
we speak to all of them before. I feel that I feel like it's like I always draw a reference back. It's like, you know, it's like the Lord of the Rings, right? There can only be one. And there's only going to be one e-wallet to rule them all. And my pick is going to be WeChat.
Yeah. The amount of users are huge, man.
Exactly, because I look at it from a logical and realistic standpoint that right now the e-wallets, let's say like Boost or example, they're trying to acquire the merchants.
Yes.
But once WeChat turns on the pipe, the merchants will come to them because they already have a base of like, I don't know, Malaysia alone is I think 7 million people on WeChat. 7 or 8 million people on WeChat.
Probably.
And there's also the integration function whereby like, we're already on WeChat.
You can, there is that, and I've seen like e-commerce stores built into WeChat.
I've seen a lot now.
Oh man, it's like crazy stuff they do in WeChat.
Correct. So I think that, and again, you cannot underestimate the function of stickiness with regards to chat. So let's just entertain this notion for a little while, right? Can you imagine if WhatsApp had a payment function?
Yeah. Adam says, dead to the incumbent fat cats. What's he mean?
I don't know, that's not, again, political, so let's not go there.
The banks, he mean the fat cats?
I don't know comment on that.
Alright.
So I mean, back to that I was saying, so basically, imagine if WhatsApp had a payment function, you won't use you won't load another app to make the payment anymore.
I'm using WhatsApp, it's enough.
WhatsApp. So I think that's where WeChat has an edge over a lot of the incumbents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Google's had their own wallet, right? Google Pay. What happened to them?
I don't know. It probably died off. A lot of things that Google have created have died off.
Yeah, like Hangouts, Glass.
Oprah.
Oprah was them.
Yeah. Oprah was them. And Oprah was not them. What's the other one? Orchid.
Okay.
Orchid.
Orkut.
Yeah, Orkut.
O-R-K-U-T.
Yeah,
it was like their Facebook for them.
Yeah.
And then they had like all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Probably they were concentrating on one or two products at those times.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went through this sandbox thing, finance sandbox through under Bank Negara Malaysia.
Yes.
What's it about and what do they control?
Okay. How do I talk about what they control? I'll tell you what it's about. Right?
Okay, what's it about?
So we went to Bank Negara very early on with this idea of trying to do what we wanted to do. Right? Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, regulation at that time was not ready to accommodate to what we wanted to do, right? Because we wanted to build a complete we wanted to give our users a completely digital process, meaning that we've never even met a lot of our customers before, face to face, right?
Right.
And at that time, regulation not ready. So then came the advent of the sandbox. Right, it was a fantastic initiative that I think was launched by I can't remember which governor already.
Probably the previous governor.
But it was certainly championed by the existing governor. And then things started to move from then.
Okay.
And then we decided that we were to go into the sandbox to try to build this platform. So it basically gave us the regulatory flexibility to do what we needed to do and to test what we needed to test.
So you could like go to banks and talk to them.
Yes.
Did he open up doors for you lah?
Exactly. I think that a lot of people again underestimate the firstly the functionality of the sandbox and the brand name of the sandbox and the legitimacy of the sandbox.
Okay.
So I think without getting the Bank Negara sandbox, I dare say we would have not been anywhere close to where we are today.
Probably.
So the sandbox allowed us to open bank accounts, allowed us to build partnerships with banks, allowed to give us a lot of trust with regards to dealing with customers, and also allowed us to do what we needed to do. And in line with that, Bank Negara also, together with assessing the situation and what we're doing from an electronic KYC standpoint, released their own regulations whilst we were in the sandbox for electronic KYC.
Studying you and also making the guidelines for the whole country.
That's a bit harsh to say that we're studying me, but let's say we were in collaboration.
Okay.
There were discussions.
So you would give inputs on how to run stuff and things.
So they viewed it as a tool to test to get certain metrics, certain control parameters, how it would fare, and then they decided, okay, it fares well, then they use it as a tool to change regulation.
So you were doing this money transfer kind of thing.
Yeah.
What else was going on at the same time that you were in there?
We're in the sandbox?
Yes.
Well, I think the first cohort had about 4 players. There was 2 local, 2 foreign players. There were 2 local insurance aggregators.
Okay.
Not 2 local. Yeah, 1 local, 1 foreign, right? You can say it was go there and get cover.
Okay.
So they were trying to do, I think, aggregation of insurance.
Okay.
For I can't comment on that. And then there were 2 other players, which was World Remit and us. They was testing eKYC.
Okay.
So just to put it in context, MoneyMatch was a small startup company at the time, and World Remit at the time was valued at
huge,
£500 million.
right.
At the time, so it was quite a battle, but I think that I think both of us did pretty okay.
Alright.
In that regard,
so
the market's certainly big enough for both of us.
The world's huge, man.
The world is huge.
The world's huge. What they say, there's like money traveling 7 trillion a day or something like that.
Yeah, probably close to that. Okay. I think 4 trillion.
4 trillion amount of time. It's huge. So much, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so like coming out of it, you joined an accelerator.
Yeah.
Okay, how did that help you all out?
Well, ironically, I was just at this NBAN meet earlier on, about a week ago, and they also mentioned about the impact of angels in this regard.
Malaysian Board of Angel
Networks.
Okay.
And how angels actually help make the dreams come true as well. Right? And in this regard, WTF, Sam Shafi and Kashminder Singh were basically the guys that pulled us through, man.
Right.
I always label them as the Paul Graham and Sam Altman of the East. Okay. Right? And I think they are like the closest thing to Y Combinator anybody has ever seen in this region or in this country.
That's huge.
Yeah, because what they did was I came to them with a PowerPoint presentation and with no form of regulation. This was 2 years ago. The regulation was so far away. It was just an idea. And they decided like, okay, I'll give 50,000 ringgit. Here's for 8% equity. And then it's not like they harped over everything. They said, take this seed money, go and build what you want to do, man.
All right.
And ironically, that's just what Y Combinator does.
Yes. If your idea is strong enough.
Yeah, they didn't force us to like, okay, you must sit here, come and sit in this place. Come for mentorship. Just take the money, bro. Go and build the dream, man. And we just took it and we built the dream.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So big mad props to them.
So shout out to Sam and Cash of WTF.
I don't think many people
realize
it's
Watchtower and Friends, okay? Yeah. It's not nothing.
I don't think many people realize this, right? But the first cohort that we had, there was us, the lorry and MyCash Online. Came from that.
Mehdi Hassan.
So it's pretty decent outing, for like...
Dude, everyone become big, man.
6 companies or something like that, right? It's pretty decent hit rate.
Okay. Yeah. Comparing you and MyCash, how are y'all different?
So different that I don't even think there's a point.
It's not. It's so
there's no point comparing it as well.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Let's say I want to get into fintech.
Okay.
What kind of knowledge do I need?
Okay.
So because everywhere you go, people talk, hey, fintech this, fintech
Yeah.
that.
But I think let's talk about this other question first, right? What is your definition of fintech? Is it my definition of fintech, whereby you must be transactional?
Close enough, because if not, I'm just an advertising agency.
Okay, well, I've heard of a case before where a pet hotel actually came into a fintech accelerator. Because say how you fintech? Oh, because I said I accept digital payments, therefore I'm fintech. So we have to qualify it a little bit.
That means everyone who sells online is also a fintech company.
I don't know, it was a wave that people were riding. But I personally think that if you want to get into this space, being a transactional player, you need to have solid financial background and a solid understanding of the fundamentals of finance. Otherwise, you won't be able to spot the gaps as well. Like
my friend Alex Kang is watching. Hi, man.
Oh, hi, Alex.
I once pranked him to say that his visa was denied. The embassy called at night, so he got scared.
He's from where, China?
He's from somewhere around here. He was trying to wait for his US visa. I just called him and pranked him. Sorry, man. Sorry about that. Alright.
Solid financial background. At least.
Do I have to come from a institutional? Should I work in an institution for a while?
I think so, because I think that this is not e-commerce.
It's not e-commerce, right?
And this is not just something that you can. It's not like any other startup.
It's not like you just go to a class and learn and come out.
It's not. Yeah, it's not even Uber, because see, when Travis started it early on, I mean, they were running illegally for a very long time. But things like that, people can close an eye, you know.
Okay. When it goes global, then it's big problem.
I mean, not only that, I mean, just the nature of the business. It's just people just driving cars, right? But you can't
make money out of it.
No, you can't take people's money and close an eye without regulation, right?
Yes.
You go to jail immediately, right?
If I make money like that, yes.
So you need the solid background is to understand the kind of risk protocols that have to be introduced, compliances, how to speak to the regulator, etc., before you can even get started. So I think the barrier, unfortunately, the barrier to entry is pretty high. But I don't say this to deter the people upcoming guys.
Still try?
Yeah, you can still try definitely, but I'm just trying to keep it real, man.
Keep it real.
Yeah, but you should have a solid foundation and fundamental understanding of how finance works. It's critical, yeah.
So working in a bank definitely helps.
For us, yes.
Yes, so coming from.
To do what we wanted to do, yes. For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Shit, I have like so many questions. Okay. So I was asking you earlier about this property guys incorporating fintech. Insurance guy incorporating fintech.
Okay. Property guys tech, not fintech.
Not fintech.
Yeah. Insurance guys fintech. Some people are calling it insurtech by itself.
Insurtech is a new word now. Every day a new word.
I would qualify. For insurance, I think to fall under the fintech space, I would qualify somebody that does, say, like P2P insurance.
Peer-to-peer?
Or either a new form of a pooling-based insurance.
Okay.
Where everybody just contributes money and then like tong like that lah. And then suddenly money come out, then
he needs money this month. So
I would qualify that to be fintech.
That's like chetty stuff already, bro.
Probably.
It's like kutu.
Say what you want, call it whatever you want. But the problem is to do that, you need to be an insurance broker.
You need to be insurance broker.
Therefore, you must be transactional.
Okay.
You get where I'm coming
then,
at?
Okay.
So
then you're a fintech already.
And that's how I qualify it.
But
I think insurance is a very exciting space. Yeah, that's.
I hear a few people already coming up for ready for launch right now.
Yeah, but I feel again that not one that's been started by industry veteran, because I think in the insurance industry is as sticky as the banking industry. You need to know your ropes. You need to know what you can and cannot do. You need to know your ropes.
Okay, Azrael says a chartered banker course is a good start.
Azrael
Ikram, your friend.
CFA is okay.
CFA, okay. Alright.
Yeah,
Wait, what's CFA?
Chartered Financial Analyst.
Chartered Financial Analyst.
Correct. Definitely. Chartered Banker is a good course as well.
Okay.
Gives you
Where would
full-
someone go and find these courses?
I think you find it online.
Online.
Unfortunately, I don't know if I think you have to be a banker or working in a financial institution to be to go for this course, if I'm not wrong.
Alright.
But I stand to be corrected. You can check it out online.
So yep, there's another avenue to go and increase your knowledge.
Yep.
What else certification would be useful?
Off my head, I can't think of anything. It doesn't have to be formal education.
Just go learn stuff.
Yeah,
right?
remember like what I said, right? You need to have a solid fundamental understanding of how the economy and financial system works.
Right.
Whether you get that from formal education, it's fine. Or
Experience.
informal experience, it's fine.
Yes. Working in a money changer helps a lot.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes. We actually we do hire a lot of ex-money changer people that within the MSB industry to help guide us through this whole, to navigate through the whole market as well.
Should I keep this money or should I dispose it? Send it to my partner, shop there.
Correct.
Okay, alright. So, okay, we are talking about that. Cryptocurrency, blockchain.
Sure. Where do we begin?
It is fintech, right?
Oh, definitely. I think cryptocurrencies
It's definitely fintech.
is at the core of fintech.
Yes.
I don't think anything else that's been created in fintech can surmount.
Using technology
Yeah.
as a currency.
Can surpass or surmount what cryptocurrency has done. Let's not talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about the
Bitcoin
industry
is
as a
one of
whole.
it lah.
Yeah, let's talk about industry as a whole. And the ironic thing is that people don't really realize this, but when I talk to let's call them the old dogs, the guys that have been mining Bitcoin since I don't know, man, since 5 years ago, or like people that have been buying Bitcoin at $20, $5.
Okay. Damn it.
Those guys tell me that when you break down the functions of, let's say, Bitcoin or crypto, the technology is at least 15 to 20 years old. They were just basically combining tools together, like functions, cryptographic hashes, to create this thing. Man.
Nakamoto, right?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Satoshi.
Yeah, it was just applications of old technology used in a better way, right? Applications of technologies from other fields. It's a better way. So we don't really have to always chase the latest technology or building anything. It's about using things that other people have used into our own field as well,
Combining and making it better.
Yeah, make it better.
So 0 to 1, they talk about innovate or create.
Zero and Peter Thiel.
Yes.
Innovate or create, yes. I'm a big fan of Peter Thiel.
It was like mind breaking. You either create a new stuff or you keep modifying the old one.
Correct. I think,
Iteration of an old
We
one.
run a lot of business strategies. We run off, we call it theology.
Theology. That's nice. That's a nice name. I never heard about it.
Yeah.
Theology.
But but I think a little bit more. I think that I'm a firm believer.
Are you investing?
Again, this is not something I will comment on.
Then you must be mining them.
No, that's probably. But I will comment on that though. I think that if you were to mine, you're better off saving your money on the rigs and buying the currency outright.
Buying the currency. Electricity is too high.
Not that, it's just a zero-sum game because you see that you're dealing with you're dealing with one variable.
Yes, and then now you're going to include so many variables.
Which is one variable, which is price. You're dealing with a fixed variable, which is the price of electricity. Meaning the more GPUs, the price will go up.
Yes.
And then you're dealing with another fixed variable, which is difficulty.
Yes. It's getting more difficult to...
No, it's not just it will always get more difficult. In the
more
long
miners.
run. Yeah, in the long
stuff.
run. It's just made to be more difficult.
I heard there's like coins that doesn't need mining these days.
Pre-mined coins, there's also coins that qualify for proof of stake.
Proof of stake, yeah.
Instead of proof of work. Yeah. But let's not go anymore.
Okay, that's a topic on its own.
It's too deep.
Using blockchain in fintech.
Okay.
Would you incorporate that? How would you use it?
I would. I have a very this one very interesting use case has been has been brewing in my mind and keeping me awake from time to time. I won't disclose it now.
The new Star Wars movie.
No, I won't disclose it right now.
Okay, what's it about?
I do feel that there is blockchain use cases in finance, right? It's very specific.
Okay.
We can't just. We have to. Blockchain is a technology.
It's a legend itself.
Correct. Therefore, you cannot just take it and shove it into every application.
Okay.
You must have a problem, and blockchain will come and solve it.
Okay.
Right. And like
everything they say, proof of concept or proof of work, the
Correct.
flow,
Yeah.
ledger, it already means a lot in finance stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'll give you a clear example of what a very clear understanding of the blockchain and what it would mean is that you see now, right? We live in a centralized world.
Yes.
We're being like
Central Bank of Malaysia.
Now let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Let's just talk about banking as a whole, right? Like I ask you, for example, how much money do you have in your bank account, right?
Okay.
You don't really know. The bank tells you how much money you have in your bank account, right?
Based on the interest earned and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
bank will tell you, and therefore there's a centralized body that tells you what to do, right? Therefore, you can clearly denote that the owner of this ledger is the bank,
Yes.
right? The bank keeps a ledger in their old host or AS400 systems of how many everybody has. You make a transaction, deduct, plus, blah, 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 it's all calibrated.
Someone stole cents out of a person's account just like that.
Yeah, and it will be calibrated, but that's, you see, every bank holds their own ledger.
Yes.
So ideally, if you ask me, I think blockchain has the potential not to build a bank, but to replace that ledger.
Replace that ledger, yes.
And I think that's the interesting prospect of crypto, and that's also the most scary part of crypto.
All the data is out there then.
Yeah, the data is definitely there. I mean, like you could definitely see from an address how much anybody has, but the flip side of that is that everything's everything's hashed.
Yes.
So you don't really know who this person is, but you do know that, wow, this guy has like
I know his ID lah, that's it lah.
X amount of money in the bank account, right? But you don't know who this person is. But obviously, if you monitor his transactions, you could probably get a guess.
You buy some data from Google and then you try to correlate the data.
But nonetheless, I do think that one application for blockchain,
it's coming like it's there.
it's coming. But that's 1.0. I think blockchain 2.0, which is smart contracts, has a lot of potential to change the world.
Yes.
But unfortunately,
people are actually doing that already based on Ethereum platform and stuff.
yeah. Okay, so just blockchain 101. You can't create a smart contract on a Bitcoin blockchain. If I am not wrong, again, I'm not an expert on this. I can stand to be corrected, right? But you can definitely do it on the Ethereum smart contracts. But it's not stable yet. I was talking to some guys earlier, some Ethereum, some guys that developed on the Ethereum blockchain earlier, that smart contracts, it's not stable. There's still a lot of holes because you got to remember, right? In the decentralized world which we live in, you see the bank, right, is centralized. Therefore, it can secure. But when you go into the blockchain in Ethereum, let's say Ethereum for instance, the type of level of security that you need to have to protect your smart contract, right? It's not just against Malaysian hackers.
Anonymous, man.
Anonymous. So
they can do anything they want.
So anything can happen. It's not really a viable option to store value as of yet, but it will be pretty soon.
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
All right. Future trends in fintech. So now you are transferring money overseas. What's after that?
For us, will definitely be regional expansion. Firstly,
Regional expansion.
to widen our customer base and to drive the cost down as well.
Okay. More users, less cost per user.
Yeah, I mean, the more licenses we have everywhere around the world, it also means we can disperse locally, and we have to own the chain. So when we own the chain, we can drive the cost down even cheaper.
Nathan was
make
telling
money
that
even faster.
he first approached his friends in other banks to actually partner up instead of going and knocking doors.
Yeah.
Okay. How long will this wave of fintech last? What do you think?
Again, like I mentioned just now, it's just technology in finance. So I think it's going to be around.
It's going to
forever.
keep growing, right?
Yeah, we just called it fintech. That's it.
It's just a name. Right?
Yeah.
So technology is going to keep growing. I think they just broke Moore's law the other day, like a few months back. And finance, I think you're going to use finance forever.
Yeah. But I think that. But I do say this, like, I mean, I do feel this personally, that the way the bank of the future, banking in 5 to 10 years, will
What's
be
it
very
like?
different to what we're experiencing right now. Alright?
Okay.
We see a lot of it coming in I think the wave of financial products, the future financial products will be pretty simple. I think right now, you guys, you only take financial products, you consume financial products that are given to you by the bank.
Right?
Right?
I don't even know what's going on at the back.
Correct. Basically, the bank just tells you this, and you take it. This is the products you have. You have a housing
Savings,
loan,
checking.
a car loan, savings, checking, blah blah blah.
Yes.
You take it. You don't want, you move on. But I think that the future of banking will be where customizable financial products, right?
Okay.
To put in for your own needs, right? You might need a loan to buy a tire.
Yes.
Right.
Tires might get that expensive ones.
Yeah, you might need a loan to buy a baby cot, right?
Okay.
But the bank might not give you a loan to buy
right.
a baby cot. So advances in technology and AI with regards to how we price credit, well, I think will allow for all these things in the future. So I think that the way we consume banking will definitely be very different.
I think one of the something good that happened was like the flexi loans that they came up with.
Yeah.
You try to settle it out earlier and you can withdraw out of it if you needed some. All right. So coming to something I just read a few months back, actually from last year. So this idea of a universal basic income.
Okay.
How will it affect fintech? What do you think about it? Because probably the banks will be the one distributing the basic income.
Yeah. Okay. The question about universal basic income is always tied in very closely with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, whereby advancements in technology and artificial intelligence will allow, which will really enable for a lot of people's jobs to be replaced.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Therefore, when their jobs are replaced, what do?
How do I survive?
How do they survive? They survive via universal basic income. Right. It's certainly a trend that's coming in the States already. AI is coming.
Right.
Like it or not.
Drones are taking out a lot of transportation jobs.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen technology. I've seen the scope of AI as well. I'm not a big fan, but I do keep abreast of the industry. And the things that it's able to do is unbelievable. Like we go back to and I think that universal basic income is a necessity.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, because nobody will be the general public will not be able to scale up as fast. You just think about back to we talk about Ethereum, right? What people don't really, I think most of the guys in the market will know, but the people outside will not know that when Ethereum first did their first ICO, it was from this thing called DAO that was hacked. Right? It was a decentralized autonomous organization. Okay? And the logic behind creating a DAO, right, was already to have artificial intelligence be the decision maker of this company, which is the DAO. So therefore, token holders will be able to vote on decisions that the artificial intelligence would list out.
Wait, is it like the Dow Jones listing or what?
No, it's different.
It's different. Okay.
Check it out, it's called DAO, and that already was the idea behind it, that AI in the future or in decentralized autonomous organizations, which are DAOs. No, it's not DOW, it's DAO.
DAO, okay.
Will allow artificial intelligence to make decisions for the companies by itself, and the voters would just be like. So therefore, you reduce the number of board members that you need.
So the decision has already been made. You either accept it or not.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
So now something more fun. Like if you watch, I remember the name. Units in Guardians of the Galaxy, they get paid in units. So all over the universe, whatever job they take on, whatever for the collector or anything, they get paid in units. Will we have a universal system soon? Like we have like 8 central big players: Euro, GBP, USD, Yen, AUD, CAD. Will we come to one singular currency?
I hope not.
Why?
Because it's scary though. Because if you read the Bible, right, when you have one single currency, end times are near, man.
Okay. And the end times are near. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever reach that state.
Tanda kiamat.
Because if you look at it now, right, but I don't think we'll reach that state. But I don't think we'll ever reach that state, unfortunately.
Isn't that what Rothschilds wants?
Oh, I don't know. That's for another day, man.
That's for another whole many days.
But yeah, that's for another day. I don't think we'll get into that. Yeah, but I think that I'll give you a clear example of why I don't ever see it happening. Right? I'll give you an example. We have another product called we have this product that's unfortunately doesn't get enough traction and press as our other product transfer. It's called MoneyMatch Exchange.
Okay.
Alright. So the idea behind this whole thing was to allow people to change money in to change currencies in KLIA
Okay.
at Google rates.
Wait, so you have a physical store?
No,
Then how do you do that?
we have employees or agents at the airport. They will
Okay.
meet you and give you the sing, collect your ringgit, and they'll be done.
It's like a drug pusher or something, man.
At the airport, that was really legit, right? We got a lot of transactions that happen. A couple of transactions that happened already. It's something that we're trying to push out.
But you don't have a spread then. You have a spread.
We charge a 10 ringgit fee.
Okay.
So the goal, right, for this product was to bring mid-valley rates
Okay.
to KLIA. Because everybody knows KLIA rates are poor,
I
right?
need cash in KLIA.
Yes. So we give you cash in KLIA. And that's precisely back to the point where because people need Sing, people need ringgit. It's hard for governments to utilize. Bitcoin was the one thing that can travel across. But until then, people need currency. So that's why we feel so that I don't think there's a need for one currency to rule them all.
Okay.
And I hopefully that the adoption for this product will take off. I think it's a pretty good product.
Wait, in Mid Valley they say it's in gardens, right?
Yeah.
Ground floor.
Yeah.
The best rates.
Yeah. So this one is basically you just do your KYC and you key into the app. I think we have a website for it. It's called exchange at moneymatch.co. Alright.
Exchange at money.
Yeah, that's just co.
Okay.
Just an app,
.moneymatch.co.
and just key in like I want Sing. I need it at this times. And then somebody will chat with you, and then you just show up at KLIA, bring your ringgit, and you get your Sing. That's it.
Dude, why don't you advertise this stuff more?
I don't know, to be honest. Like we've been trying, but I feel that
Is your $10 per transaction too low?
no, I don't think so. I want more people to use the product. I'm just trying to
makes
figure
sense,
out.
man.
Does it make sense?
Because I walk to RHB, it's a different rate. I walk to Maybank, it's a different rate.
Yeah.
I walk again change.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, I think marketing the product is one of the next things that we'll be doing in the future. So watch out for that.
Right, so that's coming up.
That's a product extension as well.
I think we talked too much. Alright, so one last
Sure.
thing. Back then we were exchanging products for services or services for product.
Yeah.
Then cash came in.
Yep.
What's after that? Fiat money, then what's after that?
Cryptos.
Crypto.
Yeah, because I think that the argument is simple, right? If you look in the future, whereby computers are taking over
Yes.
a lot of our tasks, computers now can communicate to each other, which we've seen, right? Through AI, through bots, they can fight with each other in games and whatnot.
Dude, I watched the bot fight. It was stupid.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it's still one computer
Okay, it's still growing.
communicating with another computer without a human in the middle, right?
Right.
So how would a computer?
I'm actually scared, man.
Yeah, but you think about this: how would a computer pay another computer?
I don't know.
So the goal, the idea is
How will
that.
a computer pay another computer? I don't know.
Okay, so the idea is that these computers will be running their own GPU rigs.
Okay.
So they'll be
They're
mining.
making their own money.
They'll be mining Ethereums or Bitcoins or whatever.
Damn it.
And when they need to make a payment,
They transfer.
they'll just transfer a Bitcoin to another PC.
Dude, that's already rise as Skynet, man.
Yeah, or Ethereums to another PC. But that is already something that can be done from a protocol standpoint. Because it's all rule based. And sending money to another person, I don't know if you guys have transacted in crypto before, but
I do.
just copy the address, paste the address,
Amount.
hit
BTC.
verify.
Okay.
Obviously, you got to log in the private keys.
Yes.
And then after that, boom,
Within a day
it's on the
lah.
blockchain.
Yes.
It's not even a day. I mean,
Of your-
depending on network congestion, it could be as fast as 10 seconds.
Right. Buy and sell I've done in exchanges. I've done within seconds.
Yeah.
But transfers for me so far took.
It depends on the time of day, which coin, which network, the congestion levels and stuff like that. A lot of variables. But I think, going forward, I think that's the future that I see.
Okay.
Computers need to pay another computer, and the only way to do it is through crypto. Because they won't have a bank account.
Okay. So what is your final take on this topic or your take-home message? Right, catching the fintech wave.
I think that I think my final takeaway was that is that people should basically learn to use what's available to them. Trust in the new companies, trust in technology. Try fintech players like us out, because we get a lot of flack from people that I want to use my bank, I don't trust you. etc., etc., etc.
Uh-huh.
But you know, there's such great initiatives from Bank Negara and the government to really provide these kind of services to you.
All right.
So I think the one takeaway I have is that try us out.
Try.
Even for a small transaction, let the technology work. Experience the technology.
In your case, has the early adopters already tried, or you're still trying to get the early adopters?
I'm not going to disclose much, but from a volume perspective, we do about north of 8 digits a month.
Okay.
Monthly.
That's your transactional value.
Transactional value. So I would say that we're past the early adoption phase.
Okay.
People have started to see the utility of the product, and they're starting to repeat. And our retention rate is about 60 to 70%.
That's great.
Repeat users, yeah.
They come back, keep on coming back to you.
So I think that just shows that there's a product market fit. There's a need for the product in the market, and hopefully more people will adopt it, and then they can catch the wave. Yeah.
Catch the wave.
Catch the wave.
All right. I think that's the end of it.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks. I enjoyed it quite a bit, man. No problem.
You shared a lot of info.
Yeah, thanks, man. Good questions.
Okay. I don't see much questions. Anyway, if they ask questions or if they tag any question, I will inform.
Feel free. I'm more than happy.
Adrian. Okay. That's it. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Stop, bro.